Hey everyone, so today I wanted to do a video that I have not done in a while. I don't know why I haven't filmed one of these videos in a few years, but I'm going to show you what's in my travel makeup bag. We're actually going out of town quite a bit over the next few weeks. Our first trip is coming up in a few days, and I actually just packed all of my makeup. I like to pack it like a day or two ahead of time just to make sure I have everything, and then I'll do my makeup with those products and see if I'm missing anything. But instead of just sitting here and showing you what I decided to pack, I thought I would actually apply the products on camera and show you kind of like one of my go-to looks. I actually fit everything inside this makeup bag, which I feel like is the perfect size. I tend to overpack makeup every single time I travel because I like to have different options, and my makeup bag that I usually use is really large, so I put makeup in there and toiletries and brushes, and I feel like in the end it's just overflowing. So I actually bought this bag for a different reason. It's meant to be a makeup bag. It's like the perfect size. I like it because it has this clear front. It's clear on both sides, and then it just zips open, and everything is in here except my brushes, which I'll show you the ones I'm bringing, and then also my powder just because it's kind of big and bulky. This bag is really nice. I think it comes in white and black as well. I'll link it in the description box in case you want to check it out. But I thought instead of just like holding the products up and showing you what I'm bringing, I would actually apply the products on camera and show you like my typical go-to look these days and how I might adjust it if I want something less dramatic or more dramatic, and just show you the products in action because these really are like my staple, reliable products. So I already applied sunscreen off camera. This is the Heimish Artless Glow Base. I actually had a hard time narrowing it down and deciding which one to bring with me because there are so many sunscreens I'm loving right now, but this one is very lightweight. It leaves your skin looking glowy, feeling smooth, so it's great under makeup or on its own too. I also applied the e.l.f. Squeeze Me Lip Balm. This one is in strawberry, so I will be bringing both of these with me as well. I feel like they're just good go-to daily staples. I think I might actually start with the eyes today, so I'm just going to take a little bit of the Milani eyeshadow primer and just place this on my lids just to prep them for eyeshadow. Honestly, when I am traveling and I'm not home, I'm not always taking the time to do like a very dramatic eyeshadow look. And in the past, I would bring like 3 or 4 different palettes with me. I tried to narrow it down this time because I don't know that I'll be doing a ton of eyeshadow, and if I do, it will be pretty simple. I probably would have just thrown in my e.l.f. bite-sized palette in I Love You a Latte because that one has 4 staple matte shadows and they're all neutrals, but I can't find that one for some reason. So I have 2 palettes. I feel like maybe I could just go with one. This is the ColourPop Going Coconuts palette, and it comes with mattes and shimmers. So obviously everything I need for like an easy staple neutral look. And then I also have the Milani Gilded Mini palette. This one is in Whiskey Business. This one is a fully matte palette, but it does again have a lot of staple shadows in here. I also did bring 2 ColourPop Super Shock shadows. So I have the shades Amaze, which is, it's funny because I would have considered this like a very natural color a few years ago, but for me now it's kind of more of like an easy everyday smoky color. And then I also have La Mesa. What should I use today? I might actually use a mix of the two. So let's start with the Milani Gilded Mini. I'm just going to go in with this lightest shade right here. And this is a Sigma Detail Buffer Brush. It's the E28. And I'm actually just going to use that to set my eyeshadow primer into place. I also kind of narrowed it down to very specific brushes because again, in the past I would just overpack them, and it's not the end of the world to overpack makeup or brushes or anything like that if you have the room. But I just find that now traveling with a toddler, we already have a tendency to kind of overpack his stuff anyway. So I just try to cut back where I can just because it makes every trip feel a little bit less stressful when I don't have extra stuff we don't need. We actually have not done a ton of traveling with him this year. It's been kind of nice. It's been a little bit more of a low-key year. The first year he was born, we flew a lot. I think we went on like at least 10 or 12 flights, maybe even more. And I do think it is a lot easier, it just in my experience, to fly with like an infant versus a toddler because he was like, he's still a pretty good flyer, but when he was really little, he was such a good flyer. He would just like sleep. He was so happy, and he's still really, really happy, but he doesn't want to sit still. I'm going to take this shade, and I just have this random crease brush. I got it in a subscription box a few years ago, probably a BoxyCharm, and it's still one of my favorites. So I'm just going to use this and blend the brown in the crease. So I just think flying and car rides, like everything is just a little bit more difficult with a toddler just because they want to be on the move. But honestly, everything is so fun too, just because everything is like new and exciting. And he just does this thing where he like gasps every time he sees like the most random thing. Like it could be a light, it could be a balloon. I don't know. It definitely makes it fun and interesting, and I love it. We also have a road trip planned in a few weeks as well, which will be very interesting. At least when you're flying and you're at the airport, like there are places to run around and you can walk and see things. We actually got this little like mini bicycle stroller for his birthday last year. It is the most convenient thing in the entire world if you fly a lot or if you travel a lot or if you're just like going different places with your toddler. We brought it with us to Disney. We bring it to the beach. If there's a boardwalk, it comes in handy at the airport. You basically put them in like a little bike and then you can push them like it's a stroller. But I feel like our son loves it because he doesn't feel like he's in a stroller. He feels like he's like out exploring. So just a tip if you're looking to keep your toddler entertained. I always tell you this, so if you're not new to my channel, you've probably heard me say this a million times, but I have like some dryness, some texture there that never wants to go away. So eyeshadow never blends super smoothly in that area. I'm just going to take a little bit of this ColourPop Super Shock shadow, the lighter one. This is the shade I do tend to wear most days, either when I'm in a hurry and I don't know what to do, or even when I'm not in a hurry. I just love like an easy brown shadow in the crease and then this Super Shock shadow all over the lid. I mean, I'm sitting here and talking to you, so I feel like it's taking a little bit longer, but usually like these 2 steps or these 3 steps, whatever I did, take like 2 minutes. I'm just bringing one primer with me. Some days I'll skip primer and just stick with the sunscreen because that one does a great job of actually prepping the skin too. It gives you like a nice glowy base. But if I am dealing with breakouts like I am right now, if I have texture, my skin's just not looking its best, I will go in with the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. This is such a good product. I have been using this so much ever since I got it. I just kind of tend to work it into the center of my face where I do deal with, well, I don't deal with large pores right here, but I do have like a wrinkle right there. And I feel like if I don't apply primer, sometimes foundation will settle a little bit more quickly. But there's something about this primer, like foundation goes on really nicely and then it wears really well throughout the day too. I'm actually only bringing one foundation with me as well because the concealer I'm bringing can sometimes be worn in place of foundation too. So if I want like a lighter look, I'll just stick with concealer. But for foundation, I'm bringing the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation, and I have the shade Light Beige. I've been wearing this one a ton lately because it really does stay in place so well. So on days where I'm wearing my makeup when I'm traveling, I usually do want it to last all day and not have to worry about like touching it up throughout the day. For concealer, I'm bringing the Natasha Denona Hyglam Concealer. I cannot put this one down. It is so beautiful, very long wearing, but it just looks good on the skin. And again, I know I've said this before, but on days where I don't want to wear foundation, I'll just wear this, blend it out and set it, and it looks really pretty, very natural. I've actually been mixing a blue color corrector in with my Catrice foundation. I usually use the LA Girl one, but that one comes in like a larger glass bottle. So I'm just bringing this one from e.l.f., the color or the Camo color corrector, and this one's just in the blue shade, which helps to kind of neutralize any very yellow or warm toned foundations. And then I just apply it to the skin and kind of stipple it in. So this is a foundation brush by the brand Frankie Rose. It's their foundation 90 brush. Any kind of like round foundation brush works well for me. This foundation always looks a little bit light on camera. And I guess not just on camera, like when I'm applying it in person, it looks a little bit light too. But honestly, once I go in with bronzer, blush, concealer, everything, I feel like it matches well. Like I've thought about going up a shade. I don't know that it oxidizes. I just feel like once I have the rest of my makeup in place, it always matches perfectly. It's just when I only have this on, it looks pretty light. So I guess if you have kids or you're going back to school, it depends on where you live, but maybe you're getting ready to go back to school already. Our son is only 1. I mean, he's almost 2. So we don't have to worry about kind of coordinating our travel with school yet. Oh wait, what am I doing? What I've been doing lately is applying my concealer and letting it set for a minute or two while I do my bronzer. And then I'll do concealer because I feel like then I can kind of clean up and diffuse the edges. So I'm going to be bringing the Makeup Revolution Cream Bronzer. I have the shade Light. Why can't I get this open? Okay, I got it open. This is my favorite cream bronzer. It's so smooth, really blendable. I've just been using the e.l.f. Complexion Duo brush to apply this. And again, I like to apply the bronzer first because no matter what I do, I always just kind of apply a little bit too much, or I feel like it's not as precise as I would like it. So the nice part about doing concealer after bronzer is I feel like it just kind of blends together better. This bronzer is the best though, because it just blends out super easily. So I just kind of throw it on. And I feel like that's probably why I kind of like that my foundation is a little bit lighter too, because the bronzer warms everything up. And I don't know, it comes together in the end. When I'm not like sitting here and talking, I feel like I'm just kind of like throwing things on quickly, blending out the edges, and then it all just pulls together. Sometimes I'll take the smaller side and kind of contour the nose a little bit. I know it looks a little bit intense, but once I go in and blend everything out, it will look a little bit better. So this is the Smashbox. Why did I forget? I've had this brush for years. The Smashbox Cream Cheek Brush. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I actually saw this on Ulta's website the other day. For years, the only place they were selling these Smashbox brushes was like directly on the Smashbox website. And there's still some of my favorites. I mean, I have the foundation brush here as well. I'm not bringing this one with me just because I already packed one. But my Smashbox brushes have held up so well over the years. Like I said, I've had them for years. I don't even know how long at this point, but for a really long time. For powder, I'm going to bring this one from Huda Beauty. It's very bulky, not ideal for traveling if I'm trying to actually downsize. This takes up like a quarter of my makeup bag. So I'm not actually going to put it in my makeup bag. I'm just going to stick it in with my brushes. I have like a small mesh bag that I just put the brushes in. I thought about bringing another powder, but this is the one I want if it's very hot outside. And since it's still summertime and we're going to be spending time outside and I don't want my makeup to melt off, I just feel like it'll be nice to have this one on hand. It just looks good. Like it leaves your skin looking flawless all day long. Like if I want true long wear out of my makeup, I always use this powder. Now I don't use the puff for the rest of my face. I just use like a big fluffy powder brush. This one is the Sigma Kristen Dominique setting powder brush. And I just kind of lightly go over the rest of my face as well, just to kind of lock the foundation, but mainly like that cream bronzer into place so it doesn't move. I'm just going to take some of the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel and just run this through my brows and give it a second to dry while I kind of do a little bit more of my makeup. And this is definitely a must-have for me. I actually just picked up a new one yesterday. We were at Walmart picking up a few things, and if you can believe it, I only grabbed one thing from the makeup section, and this is what I grabbed. This is not the new one, so I guess I still have a little bit in here. But sometimes when I'm traveling, if I know I'm going to run out of something soon, I just repurchase it because I don't want to be without it. Not like I can't get it there, but this really is like a true staple of mine. So I'm just going to run this through the other brow really quickly too. I'm just going to give that a second to dry. I'm just going over the edges of my eyeshadow with the lightest shade from the Milani palette to kind of diffuse them. I am bringing an eyeliner, but I'm going to skip it today. I don't wear winged liner every single day anymore. This is the Tarte Double Take Awake eyeliner, which is great because it has a very small felt tip liner on one side. So you can get like a very thin line, a precise wing. And then on the other side, it has like a very light nude pencil that I'll typically use in my waterline. I might apply that, but I'm going to skip liquid liner today. I do have the Milani Baked Bronzer. Even though I apply, oh, I forgot a bronzer brush. I'll just use my powder brush for now. Even though I apply liquid bronzer, sometimes I still like to go in with a little bit of powder bronzer as well. Not necessarily to set it, just to add a little bit more warmth to the skin, because after I set my makeup, sometimes it just takes away the cream bronzer or just tones down the cream bronzer a little more than I wanted. And I don't typically love to layer that Makeup Revolution bronzer on top of powder because it can look a little cakey if I do that. For blush, I'm just bringing one, or I guess it's technically two because it is a duo. It's the Cream and Powder Blush Duo in She's So LA, which is just perfect for like easy everyday looks. It has a cream, it has a powder, so it's actually great no matter what type of look I'm going for. I love these blushes so much. I've actually been wearing She's Blushing quite a bit as well. That one's a little more vibrant, but I don't know. I feel like for the last like week or two, I've just kind of been into more of like a bronzed look rather than a blush look, which is funny because for the last 2 months, I've really been into blush more than bronzer. For brows, I'm just going to finish them up with the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen in the shade Espresso. and I'm just going to kind of go over and fill them in a little bit more. And then I usually have an actual eyebrow pencil on hand, which I don't use every single day, but sometimes if I have like an extra minute, I'll kind of go in and just define this area a little bit more, maybe extend the brow just a little bit. So this one is from Oma by Sharon C. It's the One and Done brow styler. It actually has a brow gel on the other end too, which is great. I'm just going to take that light brown again from the Milani palette, and this is just the Profusion small pointed eyeshadow brush. I don't know, I can't do the blank lower lash line. I know a lot of people like doing that. It's kind of trendy right now. I feel like to skip mascara on the lower lash line too, and some people just never do it anyway because they like how it looks, but I feel like it looks undone on me. For mascara, I'm just bringing my favorite, the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. This one does a really great job of just lifting the lashes, giving a ton of volume, a lot of length, and just kind of making my eyes look really open and awake. And I like to really just load the mascara on. I mean, if I do want more of a natural look, which isn't typical for me when it comes to mascara, but if I'm not wearing a lot of makeup and then I'm just applying like a quick coat of mascara, one coat still looks really good. But I love this one because it builds so well. You know what I forgot in my makeup bag? This is why it's kind of nice to pack your makeup bag ahead of time and then do your makeup like once or twice, because you can see what you forgot or maybe what you're bringing that you don't need. I forgot a black pencil liner. I've actually been using a black pencil liner to tightline fairly regularly. I like the Too Faced one, the Killer Liner, just in the black shade because it stays in place really well. So even if I'm not applying liquid liner to like my upper lash line, I like tight lining because it just makes my lashes look really full compared to when I don't. It's funny because I never used to do that until recently. I tried it randomly one day, like a few months ago, and now I can't stop using it. Okay, a few things. I did decide to add in the Milani highly rated lash extension mascara. I usually use this for my bottom lashes most days because it stays in place so well. And because I do have watery eyes, I like something that I know isn't going to flake or smudge. Not that the Tower 28 one does, but this one is just like that added protection. So I am going to bring that with me. And then I did throw in the Too Faced Killer Liner that I was talking about, the black one. You know what? I am going to take some of that nude pencil from Tarte and just apply this to my waterline just to brighten things up a little bit. So for highlighter, I am bringing my Rare Beauty one. I will say these are very, very soft. I did break one of them. I dropped it from like, if the table was right here or the floor was right here because I was like organizing my makeup, I maybe dropped it from like this high up and it shattered everywhere. It was like the light pearly shade. So I might actually regret traveling with this one. I don't know if I did. I did bring it with me when we went to the beach a few months ago, but we were driving, so it wasn't like getting thrown around in my luggage. So I just used a little bit as an inner corner highlight, and then I'm actually just going to apply some as a regular highlight too. And it's just so pretty. It is a little bit intense, so usually I just kind of like lightly apply it, and then I'll just go in and kind of really work it into the skin almost. You know what's nice about this highlighter? I feel like it almost wears better as the day goes on, which is not usually the case for cheek products, but there's something about this, like as my skin gets a little bit oily and I don't know, as my foundation and stuff starts to wear off, the highlighter almost looks better. Like it sets into the skin or onto the makeup better. And sometimes I'll use this as eyeshadow too. Okay, I did overpack my lip products. Honestly, I had more in here and then I took some of them out because it got a little out of hand, but I like to have options when it comes to the lips. So I have two lip liners. These are the ColourPop Lippy Pencils. I have BFF and then I also have Cool BFF. BFF is like my go-to everyday light nude, and then Cool BFF is just basically a cooler version of that. It's a little bit darker too. So I feel like between these two, I'm pretty much set. Like I said earlier, I do have that e.l.f. lip balm. Do I need both of these? This is the Squeeze Me Lip Balm in Strawberry, but I was also going to bring the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm in Vanilla Beige. I am going to bring this. And I am going to bring this. Listen, I'm going to overpack my lip products. As for actual lip colors, I have two like very light sheer natural colors. I've been wearing this one a ton. These are the, why am I blanking? Rare Beauty Stay Vulnerable Glossy Lip Balm. So this one is nearly neutral. That's a terrible swatch. I just wore this one the other day and like pretty much with this exact same makeup look. And I actually just wore this one the other day too. This one is in Nearly Apricot, and they're both really pretty, just depending on the look I'm going for. If I want like a little bit of a brighter lip color, I'll wear Nearly Apricot, and then Nearly Neutral is really pretty because it's just like the perfect nude. Love this formula, it's so good. I have the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Yummy Gloss. This one is in the shade Sunset Skies. It's part of like their newer Daylight collection. And I mean, these are, what's going on here? I cannot swatch today. These are pretty sheer, but if I want like a very glossy product, this is nice on its own or over lip liner. And then I have the Lawless Forget the Filler Gloss, and this one is in Cherry Vanilla. Swatched, this doesn't necessarily look too interesting, but on the lips, it's so pretty. I think I'll actually wear this one today. I'm just going to line my lips with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in BFF. I like using this really whether I'm wearing like a actual lipstick or just a lip gloss, because I feel like it just helps to define my lips. Then I'm just going to take the Lawless Forget the Filler in Cherry Vanilla and apply that on top. This is such a beautiful color. I love that it's really glossy, super smoothing. So this is the final look. I'll probably be doing some variation of this look over the next few weeks. I feel like these are just like staple products that perform well, they wear well. There's not a lot of effort that goes into applying them, and I know I can rely on them. So that's why I chose them for this trip, for this travel makeup bag. I hope you enjoyed today's video and actually seeing me apply the products as I talked through them. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will be back very soon within the next, I don't know when this video is going up, within the next couple of days with a new video. So I'll see you then. Bye.